I should have let him die. That's what I tell myself every night as I press clean linen against wounds that refuse to heal. Wounds that smell like smoke, pine, and something else. Something that makes my wolf stir in ways she hasn't in years. He appeared 3 weeks ago, half dead on my doorstep during the worst storm our territory had seen in a decade. No identification. No pack scent I recognized. Just blood and mud and those eyes, pale gray, almost silver, that tracked my every movement like he was deciding whether I was a threat or a mercy. I'm neither. I'm just Ari, the pack's forgotten daughter. The one they stuck in this cabin, at the edge of the border, because I'm too broken to be useful, yet too connected to be exiled. My wolf died 5 years ago. That's what they tell themselves, what they write in their reports. Ari Ashford, wolf incapacitated during the Bloodstone Massacre. Unfit for mating. Unfit for service. Unfit. They're not entirely wrong. I can't shift anymore. I can't feel the pack bond that used to hum through my veins like a second heartbeat. Some days I forget I'm even a wolf at all, but I can still heal. My hands remember even when my wolf doesn't. You need to drink this. I kneel beside the mattress I've dragged in front of the fireplace, holding out a cup of feverfew tea mixed with something stronger. The rogue hasn't spoken much since that first night when he'd grabbed my wrist with shocking strength and rasped, "Don't call them. Please." I didn't. I still don't know why. Maybe because I recognized something in his desperation. Or maybe because the thought of my cousin Soren, our pack's current beta, storming into my cabin with his enforcers made my stomach turn. Soren would take one look at him and see an opportunity, a rogue to interrogate, to break, to use as an example. The rogue's eyes flutter open and fix on the cup. What's in it? Same thing as yesterday. I keep my voice steady, clinical. Feverfew for the fever. Valerian for the pain. Honey because it tastes like shit otherwise. His mouth twitches. Almost a smile. You have a healer's bedside manner. I have a "you're bleeding on my only mattress" manner. I push the cup closer. Drink. He does, watching me over the rim. When he finishes, he lies back with a wince that he tries to hide but fails. The gash across his ribs is deep, claw marks, 4 of them, from something with a bigger wolf than anyone in my pack. You should have stitched it, he says quietly. I tried. You told me not to. I reach for the bandages, and his hand shoots out, catching my wrist. Not hard, but firm enough that I stop. Don't get too close, he says, and there's something in his voice that makes my skin prickle. You'll recognize my scent. I freeze. What? But his eyes are already closing, fever pulling him back under, and his hand falls away from my wrist. I sit there for a long moment staring at him, at the way firelight catches on the sharp planes of his face, at the old scars that map his body like a history I can't read, at the way his chest rises and falls, each breath a small victory against whatever is trying to kill him from the inside. You'll recognize my scent. What did he mean? I finish bandaging him in silence while my mind spins. When I'm done, I sit back and really look at him for the first time in days. I've been so focused on keeping him alive that I haven't let myself see him as anything more than a patient. But he's not just a patient. He's tall, taller than most wolves I know. Broad-shouldered despite the weight he's lost to fever and injury. His hair is dark, almost black, long enough to curl at his neck. There's a scar across his left eyebrow that gives him a permanently skeptical expression, and another along his jawline that looks like it was made by a blade rather than claws. These aren't the scars of a rogue who got unlucky. These are the scars of someone who's been fighting for a very long time. My wolf stirs again, and I press a hand to my chest, startled by the sensation. She's been silent for so long that feeling her move is like hearing a ghost breathe. What do you know? I think at her, but she doesn't answer. She never does. I clean up the medical supplies and bank the fire, moving quietly so I don't wake him. It's past midnight. I should go back to my room, get a few hours of sleep before my shift at the PAC clinic tomorrow. But instead, I find myself settling into the chair by the fireplace, watching him sleep. This is dangerous. I know it's dangerous, but I can't seem to stop. The next morning, I wake to find him watching me. "You stayed the night," he says. I sit up, my neck protesting the angle I slept at. "You had a fever. I wanted to make sure it broke." "Did it?" I reach over and press the back of my hand to his forehead. His skin is cooler than it's been in days, and some of the tension in my shoulders eases. "Yes, finally." "Thank you." The words are quiet, sincere. "You didn't have to do any of this." "I know." I stand, stretching, and move to the small kitchen area to start water for tea. "But I did anyway. So now you're stuck with my questionable nursing skills until you can walk without bleeding everywhere." "Your skills aren't questionable." There's something in his voice that makes me look back at him. "You know what you're doing. You were trained." I turn back to the stove, buying myself time by fussing with the kettle. "I worked in the PAC clinic for a while. Before what?" The truth sits heavy on my tongue, but I can't tell him this was before my wolf died, before I became too broken to be trusted around patients, before Soren decided I was a liability and stuck me out here where I couldn't embarrass the family name. Instead, I say, before I moved out here, I like the quiet. He doesn't call me on the lie, but I can feel his eyes on my back, measuring, assessing. It's unnerving how much he sees. "What's your name?" I ask, desperate to shift the focus off myself. Silence stretches between us. When I glance back, his expression is carefully neutral. "Does it matter?" "You've been bleeding on my floor for 3 weeks. I'd like to know what to call you besides the rogue who won't die." That almost smile flickers across his face again. "Is that what you call me?" "When I'm being polite." He's quiet for a moment, then says, "Kieran." Just the first name. No surname, no PAC affiliation. But it's more than he's given me before, and something in my chest loosens at the sound of it. "Kieran," I repeat, testing it. The name feels familiar on my tongue in a way that doesn't make sense. "I'm Ari." "I know." I turn to face him fully. "How?" He closes his eyes and I think he's not going to answer. Then, "You told me. That first night, when you were stitching me back together, you kept talking to keep me conscious. You told me your name, that you liked the smell of rain, that you hadn't had a conversation with anyone in 3 months that wasn't about PAC business." Heat crawls up my neck. I don't remember saying any of that. I was so focused on the blood, on keeping my hands steady, on not thinking about the fact that I was committing treason by helping him. "I thought you were unconscious," I mutter. "I was, mostly." His eyes open again, and there's something soft in them that makes my breath catch. "But I heard you. Your voice was the only thing keeping me from drowning." The kettle whistles, saving me from having to respond. I busy myself making tea, my hands shaking slightly as I pour. When I bring him a cup, he takes it carefully, his fingers brushing mine. The contact sends a jolt through me, not the mate bond, everyone knows what that feels like, but something else, some recognition that makes my wolf lift her head inside my chest like she's scenting the air. Kieran notices. His eyes drop to where our fingers touched, and his jaw tightens. "You should stay back when you change my bandages from now on. Keep your distance." "Why?" I ask, frustration bleeding into my voice. "What are you afraid I'll recognize?" "Everything," he says quietly. "I'm afraid you'll recognize everything." Soren shows up 2 days later. I'm in the garden behind my cabin, harvesting the last of the fever few before the frost kills it, when I feel him coming. Not through the PAC bond, I can't feel that anymore, but through the way the forest goes quiet, the way even the birds know a predator is approaching. I straighten slowly, dirt under my fingernails, and watch my cousin emerge from the tree line. Soren Ashford is everything I'm not. Tall, powerful, perfectly at ease in his wolf skin. His dark hair is cropped short in the military style favored by the pack's warriors, and his eyes are the cold amber that runs in our bloodline. He's wearing his enforcer leathers, which means this isn't a social call. Ari. He stops a few feet away, his gaze sweeping over the cabin, the garden, me. It's been a while. 2 months, I say. You came to check on me after that rogue attack near the eastern border. And here we are again. Another rogue incident. His smile doesn't reach his eyes. Funny how these things cluster. My heart is hammering, but I keep my expression neutral. What incident? We've had reports of a rogue in the territory. Large male, dark hair, scarred, moving through the forest near the border. He tilts his head, watching me. Near your cabin, specifically. I haven't seen anyone. The lie comes easily. I've had 5 years to get good at lying. No? Soren takes a step closer, and I force myself not to retreat. Because Marcus said he picked up a strange scent near your property line 3 days ago. Said it smelled like blood and something he couldn't quite place. Inside the cabin, Kieran is hidden in the cellar. I'd moved him this morning, some instinct telling me to prepare. He'd been strong enough to argue, but I'd insisted, and something in my voice must have convinced him. Probably deer, I say. I found a carcass near the creek last week. Mountain lion kill, I think. Soren's eyes narrow at me. Mountain lions don't usually come this close to pack territory. Neither do rogues, supposedly. But here we are, having this conversation. He doesn't like my tone. I can see it in the way his jaw tightens, in the flicker of irritation that crosses his face. Soren has always hated that he can't intimidate me the way he intimidates everyone else. Being broken has its advantages. I have nothing left for him to threaten. I'm going to look around, he says. It's not a request. Do you have Alpha Matthias's permission for that? I ask, knowing the answer. Last I checked, this cabin is still technically my property. Family inheritance. You really want to do this right now, cousin? I really want you to follow pack law, I say. Unless that's not a priority for the beta anymore. The air between us crackles with tension. For a moment, I think he might push past me anyway, might tear my cabin apart looking for something he knows is there. But then he steps back, and his smile returns, sharper, colder. Of course. Pack law. He glances past me at the cabin one more time. But if you do see anything unusual, you'll report it immediately, won't you? I nod. Good. He turns to leave, then pauses. Oh, and Ari, you should come to the pack house sometime. Have dinner. Let people see you're all right. There are rumors that you've gone feral out here, that the isolation is making you unstable. I'm fine. Are you? His eyes meet mine, and there's something calculated in his expression. Because from where I'm standing, you look like someone who's barely hanging on. And we both know what happens to wolves who can't maintain their stability. Even wolves with our bloodline. The threat is clear. If he can convince the Alpha that I'm becoming a danger to myself or others, he can have me removed from even this small measure of independence, locked up in the pack house under observation, controlled. I'll come to dinner, I say, each word costing me. Next week. I'll hold you to that. Soren gives me one last assessing look, then shifts. His wolf is massive, nearly black, with those same cold amber eyes. He disappears into the forest without looking back. I stand there for a long moment after he's gone, my heart racing, my hands shaking with adrenaline I can't release. Then I turn and run back to the cabin. Kieran is already emerging from the cellar when I get inside, moving carefully, one hand pressed to his ribs. His face is pale, but his eyes are sharp, alert. He's gone, I say. But he'll be back. He knows something. Then I need to leave tonight. Kieran moves toward the mattress where his few belongings are stacked. I've put you in enough danger. But you can barely walk. Don't be stupid. I put myself between him and his things. You take 3 steps. Outside this cabin in your condition, and any patrol wolf will smell the blood. You won't make it a mile. Then what do you suggest? There's frustration in his voice, and underneath it, fear. Not for himself, I realize, but for me? We stand there, close enough that I can feel the heat radiating off his skin, can see the pulse beating at his throat. His scent wraps around me, that smoke and pine and something else that's been haunting me for 3 weeks, and my wolf surges inside my chest so suddenly it steals my breath. I stumble back, pressing a hand over my heart. The sensation is overwhelming, like something locked away is trying to claw its way out. Ari? Kieran reaches for me, concern flooding his face. What's wrong? My wolf, I gasp. I can feel her. She's trying to... His hand closes around my wrist, and the world tilts. It's not a vision, not exactly. More like a memory that doesn't belong to me. Darkness. The smell of blood and fear. Running through trees while something enormous crashes behind me. A voice screaming my name. Ari, run! And then more pain, sharp and bright, tearing through my shoulder. Falling. Someone catching me. Gray eyes looking down at me with desperate urgency. I come back to myself on the floor, Kieran kneeling beside me, his hands on my shoulders. He's saying something, but I can't hear him over the roaring in my ears. You, I whisper. I know you. He goes very still. That night at Bloodstone. 5 years ago. You were there. I push myself up, my eyes locking on his. Kieran's face drains of color. For a moment, he looks like he might deny it. Then his shoulders sag, and something like relief crosses his face. Yes, he says quietly. I was there. Tell me. My voice is shaking. He's quiet for a long moment, his eyes searching my face like he's trying to memorize it. Then he sits back on his heels and starts talking. My name is Kieran Vale. 5 years ago, I was a tracker for Silverthorn Pack. Elite unit, directly under the Beta's command. He pauses. Under Soren's command. My stomach drops. You worked for Soren? I did, until I found out what he was planning. Kieran's jaw tightens. The Bloodstone massacre wasn't what they told everyone. It wasn't rogues attacking pack members. It was an execution. An execution of who? The previous Beta, Marcus Thorne, and his entire family. Kieran's eyes are distant now, looking at something I can't see. Marcus discovered something. Something about how Alpha Matthias really took power 20 years ago. He was going to bring it to the council, expose everything. So Soren and 3 other high-ranking wolves decided to eliminate the problem. I feel sick. That's not possible. Alpha Matthias he's hard, but he's not. He ordered it himself, Kieran says flatly. I heard him give the command. No witnesses, no evidence. Make it look like a rogue attack. But I was there, I whisper. I remember. There were bodies. So many bodies, and blood, everywhere. You weren't supposed to be there. Kieran's voice is gentle now. You were out past curfew, taking one of your night walks. You saw them. Saw Soren standing over Marcus's body, with blood on his hands. Saw the others dragging the bodies into position, staging it. Fragments are coming back now, faster than I can process them. The smell of death. Soren's face cold and emotionless as he wiped blood from his claws. Someone seeing me, shouting, running through the dark while they chased me. Did you find me? I ask softly. I tried to get you out. I knew if they caught you, you'd be next. Kieran's hand moves toward me, then stops. But we got separated near the river. They cornered you. Soren. He stops, his voice rough. Soren wounded you. Badly. You should have died. But your wolf did something. Something I've never seen before. Kieran's eyes meet mine. She took the memories. Buried them so deep that even your pack bond couldn't find them. She essentially severed you from the pack, made you invisible to their psychic tracking. The price was that you couldn't shift anymore, couldn't access her, couldn't remember. She was protecting me, I breathe. She saved your life. They thought you'd die from your injuries or that your wolf would die from the severed bond. Either way, you'd be gone. But you survived. There's something like awe in his voice. You kept surviving. I wrap my arms around myself, trying to hold all these pieces together. What happened to you? I tried to help you, which made me a traitor. And I'd seen too much, knew too much. They declared me rogue. Hunted me. His smile is bitter. I've been running ever since. Then why did you come back? If you've spent 5 years staying alive, why would you risk coming back here? Kieran is quiet for a long moment. When he speaks, his voice is low, urgent. Because they're going to do it again. Cold floods through me. What? Clearwater Pack. Our neighbors to the north. Alpha Matthias has been negotiating with them for territorial rights to the river valley. But the Clearwater Alpha refused, so Matthias and Soren are planning another massacre. Kieran leans forward. They're going to stage it in 3 weeks during the Harvest Moon gathering. Make it look like rogues attacked. Kill the Alpha and his inner circle. Take the territory through justified retaliation. Horror crawls up my spine. How many people? The Clearwater Alpha has a family, mate, 3 children. Plus his beta, advisors, probably 20 total at the gathering. Kieran's voice is tight with controlled rage. They're going to murder them all and call it justice. We have to warn them. We have to... With what proof? I'm a rogue. You're a broken wolf with no memory and no credibility. His hands curl into fists. No one will believe us. Then what do we do? Kieran looks at me, and there's something in his eyes that makes my heart stop. We get your memory back, all of it. Witness. Testimony from you would mean something. You're an Ashford. If you could shift again, if your wolf could access the pack bond, she'd be able to show what really happened that night. That's proof they can't bury. I can't shift anymore. My wolf won't. Your wolf is waiting, he interrupts. She's been waiting 5 years for you to be ready to remember. To fight. He pauses. She's waiting for you to decide you're worth saving. The words hit like a physical blow. I came back for you, Kieran says quietly. Because you're the only person who can stop this. And because... He stops, something vulnerable flickering across his face. Because I couldn't leave you here. Not again. You don't know me, I whisper. I know you stayed behind to help a rogue when you could have turned him in. I know you risked everything to keep me alive. I know you're braver than you think you are. His eyes hold mine, and I know that when I found you bleeding in the dark 5 years ago, the last thing you said before you passed out was, "Don't let them win." Tears are burning in my eyes. I don't remember saying that, but my wolf does. I can feel her now, alert and aware, pressing against the inside of my chest like she's trying to reach through to me. How do I get her back? I whisper. You have to want it. You have to be ready to remember everything, even the parts that will hurt. Kieran shifts closer, and his scent wraps around me, a scent I finally recognize. Pack. He smells like pack, like home, like mine. Stop, I breathe, and he freezes. Your scent. You told me not to get too close. Why? Kieran's jaw tightens. Because I've been masking it. With herbs. With distance. with sheer force of will, because if you got close enough, you'd know. Know what? His eyes meet mine, gray and ancient and filled with something that makes my breath stop. That we're mates, he says quietly. We've been mates since the night I found you dying in the forest, and your wolf recognized mine even while she was saving your life. The bond tried to form then, but she couldn't let it complete. It would have tied you to a rogue, made you a target, so she buried that too. That's not possible, I whisper in disbelief. It's why I could never stay away. Why I've been trying to protect you from a distance, watching to make sure Soren didn't realize what you were starting to remember. His voice is rough. It's why your wolf is finally waking up. She recognizes her mate. I should be terrified. I should be angry that he kept this from me. But all I feel is a strange, settling certainty, like a puzzle piece finally clicking into place. Show me, I whisper. Ari, show me your real scent. Let me feel it. Kieran hesitates, then closes his eyes. I watch as his shoulders lower, as tension drains from him, as his mask falls away. His scent hits me like a wave. Smoke and pine and something wild and clean, like wind over mountains. But underneath it all is something else. Something that calls to every instinct I have, that makes my wolf surge forward with a force I can't contain. I reach for him without thinking, my hands finding his face, and when our skin connects, the bond snaps into place like a rubber band pulled too tight and finally released. Everything floods through at once. His emotions, fierce protectiveness, bone-deep loneliness, desperate hope. His memories, watching me from the shadows for 5 years. The night he found me. The way my eyes had met his, even while I was dying. The way my wolf had reached for his in that last moment before darkness took me. I'm sorry, he rasps. I should have told you sooner. I should have. Before he can finish, I kiss him. It's desperate and clumsy, and probably stupid, but I can't help it. 5 years of buried feelings are exploding through me, and I need him to know. Need him to feel that I'm choosing this. Choosing him. He makes a sound low in his throat and kisses me back, his hands coming up to cup my face with devastating gentleness. The bond between us blazes to life, and through it, I feel everything. His relief. His want. When we finally break apart, we're both breathing hard. Your wolf, Kieran says, his thumb tracing my cheekbone. Can you feel her? I close my eyes and reach inward, and for the first time in 5 years, she's there. No longer buried, no longer hidden. I open my eyes and find Kieran watching me with an expression that makes my heart ache. I need to try to shift, I say. Tonight. When Soren comes back, I need to be ready. We need to be ready. Kieran nods slowly. It's going to hurt. Your wolf has been dormant. Forcing a shift after that long. I don't care. I stand, pulling him up with me. He sways slightly, still not fully healed, and I steady him. I'm tired of being afraid, tired of being broken. I want to remember. I want to fight. Then we'll do it together. He laces his fingers through mine, and the contact sends warmth spreading up my arm. Your wolf won't come back gently. I don't want gentle. I want her back, all of her. Kieran's smile is fierce and proud. Then let's wake her up. We wait until midnight. The moon is waxing toward full, bright enough to cast shadows through the trees. Kieran insists on coming with me despite his injuries, and I don't argue. I need him there. My wolf needs her mate present for this. We walk to the clearing behind my cabin, the place where I used to shift before. The grass is still pressed down in spots where my wolf used to land, though it's grown wild in the years since. What do? I ask. My hands are shaking. Close your eyes. Reach for her. Kieran stands behind me, his hands on my shoulders. Don't try to force it. Just let her know you're ready, that you trust her. I close my eyes and breathe. Reach down into that place where she's been sleeping, where she's been keeping all my memories locked away to protect me. I'm ready, I tell her. Please. I need to remember. For a moment. Nothing happens. Then I feel her stir, feel her lift her head, and suddenly she's flooding toward me with the force of a dam breaking. The memories come first. That night, running through the trees with Soren's wolves behind me. The terror, the certainty I was going to die. Seeing Kieran appear from the darkness, and knowing, somehow knowing, that he was different, that he'd help me. His arms catching me when I stumbled, the others finding us. Soren's face cold and calculating as he realized what I'd seen. Kieran trying to shield me, getting thrown aside. Claws tearing into my shoulder, pain like nothing I'd ever felt. My wolf rising up in defense, and then something breaking. The bond with the pack snapping like a frayed rope. My wolf making a choice. Hide. Bury it all. Keep her safe. Kieran's face above me as darkness crept in. His scent wrapping around me. His wolf calling to mine. The bond trying to form, but failing, then retreating. The memories keep flooding through. 5 years of suppressed emotions crashing over me all at once. Every moment I'd felt wrong, broken, lost. Every time Soren had looked at me with that calculating expression. Every night I'd dreamed of gray eyes and safety, and couldn't remember why. The shift hits me like lightning. My bones start to break and reform, and the pain is excruciating. I hear myself scream, feel Kieran's hands on my back, his voice telling me to breathe, to let it happen, that he's here. But my body has forgotten how to do this. 5 years without shifting means my wolf form has to essentially be rebuilt from scratch, and every cell fights the transformation. I collapse to my hands and knees, sobbing with the pain of it. Feel fur starting to sprout along my arms, then receding. My spine elongating, then snapping back. My face beginning to change, then shifting back to human. I can't, I gasp. It's not working, I can't. Yes, you can. Kieran is on his knees beside me, his hands cupping my face, forcing me to look at him. You're the strongest person I know, Ari. You survived 5 years of having your soul cut in half. You can survive this. It hurts, I cry out, fighting back tears. I know, but pain means you're alive. Don't give up now. Not when you're so close. His thumb brushes away the tears on my cheek. I close my eyes and reach for my wolf again. This time, I don't try to force it. I just open myself to her completely, let her in without reservation, without fear. Together, I think, at her. We do this together. The shift comes all at once. My bones break and reform in a rush that steals my breath. Fur erupts across my skin. My senses explode outward. Suddenly I can smell everything, hear everything, feel the earth beneath my paws with crystal clarity. When I open my eyes, the world is sharper, brighter. I'm low to the ground, and when I look down, I see white paws tipped with black claws. Kieran is staring at me with an expression of pure wonder. Then he shifts, too, his transformation smooth and practiced, and suddenly there's a massive gray wolf standing in front of me. His eyes are the same silver gray as his human form, and when he looks at me I feel the mate bond pulse with recognition. You're beautiful. His voice echoes in my head through the bond. I knew you would be. I take an experimental step, then another. My legs are shaky, but they hold. I lift my head, and suddenly I can smell everything I've been missing. The pack boundaries, the patrol routes, Soren's scent, faint but present, from his visit earlier. Run with me, Kieran says, and I do. We run through the forest, and it's like flying. My wolf revels in the movement, in the wind through her fur, in the ground flying beneath her paws. Kieran runs beside me, matching my pace, and through our bond, I feel his joy, his pride, his absolute certainty that this is right. We run until I'm exhausted, until my legs are shaking and my lungs burn. Then we circle back to the clearing, and I shift back to human form. This time, the shift is easier. My wolf knows the way now. I collapse in the grass, breathing hard, and Kieran shifts beside me. For a long moment, we just lie there under the moon, letting the enormity of what just happened sink in. We need to move fast. Kieran's expression turns serious. If your wolf is back, Soren will feel it. The pack bond might be severed, but he'll sense the change. He'll know something's wrong. How long do we have? A day, maybe less. He stands, offering me his hand. We need to get evidence, something concrete that proves what happened at Bloodstone and what they're planning for Clearwater Pack. Soren keeps records, I say. He's paranoid about covering his tracks, documenting everything in case someone tries to blame him later. I think back to my time working in the pack house before they relegated me to the clinic. He has an office in the East Wing, encrypted files, but I know where he keeps the access codes. That's suicide. Walking into the pack house is exactly what he told me to do. I squeeze his hand. He wants me to come to dinner next week. We move it up. I'll go tomorrow night, tell them I wanted to come early, that I'm feeling better. While everyone's at dinner, you break into his office. Ari, if they catch you. They won't, because you'll be there. I meet his eyes. We're mates. We do this together, remember? He stares at me for a long moment, then pulls me close, pressing his forehead against mine. You're insane. I've been dead for 5 years. Insane is an improvement. His laugh is quiet, pained. We're going to stop them, expose them, save Clearwater Pack. I pull back to look at him. And then we're going to run. Together. Far away from here. Where? Anywhere. I don't care as long as you're there. The certainty in my voice surprises me. A week ago, I couldn't imagine leaving this cabin. Now I can't imagine staying. Kieran kisses me, soft and sweet, and filled with promise. When he pulls away, his eyes are bright. Tomorrow, then, we end this. We walk back to the cabin hand in hand, and for the first time, I feel whole. The next evening, I dress in the nicest clothes I own. A simple, gray dress that used to belong to my mother. I braid my hair and try to look like someone who isn't planning treason. Kieran watches from the shadows as I prepare. He's stronger now, his wounds finally healing properly with my wolf awake and our bond growing stronger. The mate connection is accelerating his recovery, pouring strength back into him. You're sure about this? He asks for the 3rd time. No, but I'm doing it anyway. I turn to face him. You'll wait until the dinner starts? Give me enough time to get everyone focused on me? I'll wait, but the moment something feels wrong, you'll know. I touch my chest where I can feel him, a constant warm presence beneath my ribs. I'll signal you if I need help. He crosses to me, his hands settling on my waist. I don't like you being in danger. I've been in danger for 5 years. At least now I'm fighting back. I reach up to cup his face. Trust me? With my life. He kisses me, deep and desperate, like he's trying to memorize the taste of me. When he pulls away, his voice is rough. Come back to me. The walk to the pack house takes 20 minutes. With every step, I feel my wolf settling deeper into my bones, her presence a comfort I'd forgotten I could feel. The pack bond is still severed. That won't come back unless I want it to. But I'm whole in a way I haven't been since that night. The pack house looms ahead, all stone and timber and imposing architecture designed to remind everyone who has power here. Guards flank the entrance, but they recognize me and wave me through without question. Why would they stop me? I'm just broken little Ari, harmless and forgettable. Inside, the main hall is already set for dinner. Long tables filled with pack members, the smell of roasted meat and fresh bread making my stomach clench. I haven't eaten in a pack setting in years, haven't wanted to subject myself to the stares and whispers. Ari! Soren's voice cuts through the noise, and I turn to see him approaching, a smile on his face that doesn't reach his eyes. You came early. I'm pleased. You said I should let people see I'm all right, so here I am. I keep my voice steady, my expression neutral. His eyes rake over me, assessing. You look different. My heart pounds faster, but I don't let it show. I've been sleeping better. The cabin is quiet this time of year. He doesn't look convinced, but he gestures toward the high table where Alpha Matthias is already seated. Come, the Alpha will want to see you. I follow him through the crowd, feeling eyes on me from every direction. Pack members I used to know, used to call family, now looking at me with curiosity or pity, or thinly veiled disgust. The broken Ashford, the one who couldn't even keep her wolf. If only they knew. Alpha Matthias watches me approach with his cold, calculating gaze. He's older than I remember, gray threading through his dark hair, lines deepening around his mouth. But he's still powerful, still radiating the kind of authority that makes wolves want to drop to their knees. Ari. His voice is neutral. Soren tells me you've been keeping to yourself. I like the quiet, Alpha. I bow my head in respect, playing the part. But I appreciate the pack's concern. Concern. He says the word like he's tasting it. Is that what we're calling it now? Soren shifts beside me, and I feel the warning in the movement. Don't push. Don't challenge. Stay small. I'm grateful for the cabin, I say instead. For the pack's continued support, despite my condition. Your condition. Matthias leans forward slightly. Tell me, Ari. Do you remember anything from that night? From Bloodstone? The question lands like a punch. Around us, the hall has gone quiet, pack members straining to hear. No, Alpha, I lie smoothly. I remember running and then waking up in the clinic weeks later. Nothing else? No faces? No details? Nothing. I'm sorry. He stares at me for a long moment, and I force myself to hold his gaze, to look confused and a little sad, like I'm mourning memories I can't access. Finally, he sits back. A pity. We could have used your testimony to hunt down the rogues responsible. The rogues are dead, brother. Soren's voice is smooth. The word brother makes my skin crawl. I'd forgotten that detail. Soren and Matthias aren't just Alpha and Beta. They're family. Half-brothers through their father's first mate. Of course they're working together. Of course this goes all the way to the top. Indeed. Matthias waves a hand dismissively. Sit, Ari. Eat. Let the pack see you're one of us. I take my seat at the high table, acutely aware of Soren settling beside me, of Matthias watching me with those cold eyes. The meal begins, and I force myself to eat, to smile, to make small talk with the wolves around me, all while feeling Kieran through the bond. He's moving through the pack house now, using the chaos of dinner to slip through the shadows toward Soren's office. I can feel his focus, his careful control as he picks locks and disables security measures. You seem distracted, Soren says quietly, leaning close enough that only I can hear. Something on your mind? Just overwhelmed, I lie. It's been a while since I was around this many people. Has it? His hand lands on my shoulder, and I have to force myself not to flinch. You know, I've been thinking about you lately. About that night. About how lucky you were to survive. How convenient it was that you lost your memory. His fingers tighten slightly, almost like someone wanted to make sure you couldn't tell anyone what you saw. I turn to look at him, and the smile on his face is sharp enough to cut. He knows. Somehow he knows. I don't understand, I say, keeping my voice, confused. Don't you? He leans closer, his breath hot against my ear. I can smell him on you, cousin. That rogue you've been hiding. Did you really think I wouldn't notice? Terror floods through me, but I shove it down. Can't let him see me break. Can't give him the satisfaction. I don't know what you're talking about. No? His hand moves from my shoulder to the back of my neck, grip tightening. To anyone watching, it probably looks like a familial gesture, but I can feel the threat in it. Then maybe we should discuss it privately, after dinner. Through the bond, I feel Kieran's alarm. He's picked up on my fear, is already moving back toward the dining hall. No, I think at him desperately. Get the files. I can handle this. I feel his hesitation, his every instinct screaming at him to come to me. But he forces himself to turn back, to keep moving toward Soren's office. I'd be happy to speak with you privately, Beta, I say, my voice steady despite the terror coursing through me. But you're mistaken. I haven't seen any rogues. Haven't you? Soren's smile widens. Then you won't mind if I send some enforcers to check your cabin. Right now, while you're here. My stomach drops. If they find Kieran's things, the medical supplies, any evidence that I've been harboring him. Of course not, I say. Though I'm not sure what you expect them to find besides my mess of a garden and some very moldy bread. He laughs, but there's no humor in it. We'll see. He releases me and stands, gesturing to two enforcers across the hall. I watch in horror as he gives them quiet instructions, watch them nod and head for the exit. They're going to my cabin. They're going to tear it apart looking for evidence. Kieran, I think urgently. We need to move. Now. I'm almost done. 2 more minutes. We don't have 2 minutes. Soren sent enforcers to the cabin. A surge of rage through the bond, quickly controlled. Then we improvise. Can you get out? I glance around the hall. Soren has moved away to speak with Matthias, but he's watching me from the corner of his eye. If I try to leave now, he'll stop me. Question me. Unless I give them something else to focus on. I stand abruptly, knocking my chair back. The crash silences the nearby conversations, and I feel eyes turning toward me. I'm sorry, I say loudly, pressing a hand to my head. I'm not feeling well. I think I need some air. Soren starts toward me, but I'm already moving, weaving through the tables toward the side exit that leads to the gardens. I can feel him following, feel his suspicion like a weight on my back. I make it outside into the cool evening air, and then hands are grabbing my arm, spinning me around. Soren's face is cold with fury. What game are you playing? I told you, I'm not feeling well. You're lying. His grip tightens painfully. You've been lying this whole time. The question is, what are you trying to hide? Nothing. I'm not. Your wolf is back. The words stop me cold. Soren's eyes narrow as he sees the truth in my expression. You think I couldn't tell? You think I couldn't sense the difference? He yanks me closer. You shifted, recently. Which means your wolf is awake. Which means the memories are coming back, I finish, and watch his face drain of color. That's what you're afraid of, isn't it? That I'll remember what really happened at Bloodstone. What you did. For a moment, neither of us moves. Then Soren's free hand shoots out and wraps around my throat. You should have stayed broken, he hisses. Should have stayed quiet. Now I have to clean up another mess. Through the bond, I feel Kieran's absolute terror, feel him abandoning his mission and running toward me. But he's too far away. Won't make it in time. My wolf surges forward, and I let her come. Feel my eyes change, feel strength flooding into my limbs as she lends me her power. I break Soren's grip with a twist of my body and slam my palm into his chest, sending him stumbling back. "I'm not broken anymore," I snarl, my voice deeper with my wolf's presence. "And you're going to pay for what you did." Soren recovers quickly, his own wolf rising. His eyes flash amber. The transformation is instantaneous. Suddenly, I'm facing a massive black wolf with murder in its eyes. He lunges, and I shift on instinct, my white wolf form manifesting just in time to dodge his attack. We crash into the garden, tearing up carefully maintained flower beds as we circle each other. Soren is bigger, stronger, more experienced. But I'm faster, and I have 5 years of rage fueling me. He lunges again, and this time I meet him head-on. We collide in a tangle of fangs and claws, both of us fighting with everything we have. I can hear shouts from the pack house, feel pack members starting to emerge to see what the commotion is. But I don't care. All I care about is keeping Soren focused on me, keeping him away from Kieran long enough for my mate to get what we need. Soren's jaws close around my shoulder, and pain explodes through me. The same shoulder he wounded 5 years ago. He's trying to finish what he started. But this time I have my wolf. This time, I fight back. I twist in his grip and sink my teeth into his throat. Not deep enough to kill, but deep enough to make him release me. Blood fills my mouth, his and mine, and we break apart panting. "Ari!" Kieran's voice in my head is desperate. "I'm coming. Hold on. Did you get them? The files? Yes, but then run. Get to the border. I'll meet you there." "I'm not leaving you. You have to." I dodge another attack from Soren, my injured shoulder screaming in protest. "Those files are the only proof we have. Get them to safety. I'll find you. I promise." More wolves are pouring into the garden now. I can see enforcers shifting, can feel Alpha Matthias's rage rolling toward us like a storm. I'm out of time. "I love you," I think at Kieran desperately. "Now run!" I feel his anguish, his absolute refusal to abandon me. But then I feel him make the choice, feel him turn away and sprint for the border. It's the hardest thing he's ever done. But he does it. For me. For the mission. For all the wolves who will die if we don't stop this. Alpha Matthias's voice booms across the garden. "Stand down! Both of you!" The command hits me like a physical force, Alpha authority trying to compel obedience. But my pack bond is severed. It can't touch me. I don't stand down. Instead, I turn and run. Wolves chase me into the forest. I can hear them crashing through the undergrowth, can smell their bloodlust. They think I'm prey. They're wrong. I run faster than I've ever run, my wolf's joy at being free mixing with terror at what's behind us. We leap over fallen logs, splash through streams, push deeper into the territory toward the border, toward Kieran. The bond pulls me forward like a compass, showing me exactly where he is. He's already crossed into neutral territory, is waiting for me just beyond the pack boundaries. I'm almost there. Just a few more yards. Then something hits me from the side, sending me tumbling into the dirt. I shift back to human on impact, the wind knocked out of my lungs. Soren stands over me in human form, blood streaming from the wound on his neck. Around us, a dozen enforcers have formed a circle, cutting off any escape. "You really thought you could run?" He crouches down, grabbing my hair and yanking my head back. "That I'd just let you walk away?" "The files," I gasp. "They're meaningless without a witness, and you, cousin, are never leaving this territory alive." Through the bond, I feel Kieran's desperation. He's at the border, botting, fighting every instinct that tells him to come back for me. "Don't," I think at him. "Don't come back." Please, get those files to the council. Stop them from hurting anyone else. Ari, I can't. You can. You have to. Tears are streaming down my face now. I love you. I'll love you in every life. But you have to go. How touching, Soren says, watching my face. Saying goodbye to your rogue mate? He laughs. Don't worry, we'll hunt him down next. Make sure you're together in death since you couldn't be in life. He raises his hand, claws extending, and I close my eyes. This is it. This is how it ends. But then, a howl splits the night, deep and powerful and filled with rage. The enforcers scatter as a massive gray wolf crashes into the circle, moving so fast he's just a blur. Kieran. He didn't leave. Of course he didn't leave. You idiot, I think at him, even as relief floods through me. You're supposed to be safe. I'm supposed to be with you, he snarls back. Now get up and shift. We're finishing this together. He's fighting 3 enforcers at once, his jaws snapping, claws tearing. He's magnificent and terrifying, and he's fighting for me. I push Soren off me with a burst of strength and shift. My wolf springs forward, and together Kieran and I stand back to back against the circle of enforcers. We're outnumbered, outmatched. Kill them both, Soren orders. No witnesses, no evidence. The enforcers close in. And then, another howl, then another, then a dozen more. Wolves emerge from the trees, but not silverthorn wolves. These are different. Larger, with silver-tipped fur and eyes that glow gold in the darkness. Clearwater Pack. Kieran's voice in my head is shocked. That's impossible. How did they... A massive wolf, even larger than Soren's form, steps forward. The Clearwater Alpha, and behind him, his beta, his enforcers, his warriors. We received an anonymous message. A deep voice echoes in my mind. The Alpha's voice, projected to everyone present, with files detailing a planned massacre. Files that came from Silverthorn's own beta. Files that proved our pack's alliance was built on lies and murder. Soren's face goes white. He shifts back to human, raising his hands. Alpha Garrett, this is a misunderstanding. Is it? The Clearwater Alpha shifts as well, his human form just as imposing. Because those files were very detailed. Names, dates, methods, everything we'd need to bring charges against your Alpha in his second. Alpha Matthias emerges from the trees, surrounded by his own wolves. His face is twisted with rage, but there's fear there too. Fear of being exposed. Fear of losing everything. This is Silverthorn territory, Matthias says, his voice tight. Whatever dispute you think you have is a dispute the council will settle. Another voice, this one female and sharp with authority. A woman steps forward, flanked by wolves in formal council regalia. I recognize her, Councillor Adelaide, the head of the Werewolf Council that governs all packs. We received the same files, she says, her eyes cold as they sweep over Matthias and Soren. Along with testimony from several witnesses who've been too afraid to speak until now. Witnesses who saw what really happened at Bloodstone. Witnesses you tried to silence. My legs give out, and Kieran catches me, shifting back to human to hold me steady. Around us, the Silverthorn enforcers are backing away, realizing they're not just facing another pack now. They're facing the council itself. It's over. Ari Ashford, Councillor Adelaide's gaze finds mine. You're the last surviving witness to the Bloodstone massacre. Your testimony, combined with these files, gives us everything we need to bring formal charges against Alpha Matthias and Beta Soren for murder, conspiracy, and crimes against the Council's laws. I find my voice somehow. I'll testify. I'll tell you everything. Soren makes a sound like a wounded animal. He shifts without warning and lunges, Not at the counselor, not at the Clearwater wolves. At me. But Kieran is faster. He shifts and meets Soren mid-air, and they crash to the ground in a fury of claws and fangs. This time, there's no hesitation. No mercy. Kieran's jaws close around Soren's throat and rip. My cousin falls, blood pooling beneath him, his eyes going glassy. His last expression is one of shock, like he can't believe this is how it ends. The forest goes silent. Kieran shifts back, blood covering his chest, his eyes wild as they find mine. Are you all right? I nod, unable to speak. Can't believe we're alive. Kieran Vale, Counselor Adelaide's voice makes him tense. You were declared rogue 5 years ago for the murder of Beta Marcus Thorne and his family. But these files tell a different story. They say you tried to stop the massacre, that you were framed. I was. His voice is hoarse. I tried to save them. Tried to save her. His hand finds mine, squeezes. Then your rogue status is hereby revoked. The counselor's expression softens slightly. You're pardoned. Both of you are under council protection now. The words take a moment to sink in. Pardoned. Protected. Free. I turn to Kieran, and the look on his face, relief and joy and desperate hope, breaks something open in my chest. I throw my arms around him, and he lifts me off the ground, burying his face in my hair. We did it, I whisper. We actually did it. You did it, he pulls back just enough to look at me, his hands cupping my face. You were so brave. So strong. I'm so damn proud of you. He kisses me, deep and claiming. And through our bond, I feel everything he can't say. The terror of almost losing me. The pride at watching me fight. The absolute certainty that he'd do it all again in a heartbeat. When we break apart, the Clearwater Alpha is approaching. Ari Ashford, he says, and there's respect in his voice. You saved my pack. Saved my family. If there's ever anything you need... There is, actually. I glance at Kieran, then back at the Alpha. We need to leave. Both of us. We can't stay in Silverthorn territory, and we're not exactly welcome anywhere else. You could come to Clearwater, he offers. We'd be honored to have you. It's a generous offer. A new pack, a fresh start. But when I look at Kieran, I already know the answer. Thank you, I say. But I think we need to be on our own for a while. Figure out who we are outside of all this. The Alpha nods, understanding. Then take this. He pulls a medallion from around his neck and hands it to me. The Council's mark. It'll grant you safe passage through any territory. And if you ever need asylum, Clearwater's borders are open to you. I take the medallion, its weight solid and reassuring in my palm. Thank you. The counselor steps forward. We'll need you both to testify at the formal hearings, but that won't be for several weeks. Until then, she glances at Alpha Matthias, who's being restrained by council enforcers. Silverthorn Pack will be under council supervision, and you're both free to go. Free. The word feels foreign. Impossible. But when Kieran takes my hand, when I feel our bond humming with life and possibility, I start to believe it might be real. We walk toward the border together, past the wolves who tried to kill us, past the pack that rejected me, past all the pain and fear and brokenness. At the boundary line, I pause and look back one last time. The cabin is burning. Soren must have ordered it torched when he realized I wasn't coming back. Smoke rises into the night sky, taking with it the last 5 years of my life. I should feel sad, should mourn what I'm losing, but all I feel is relief. Ready? Kieran asks softly. We cross the border together, and with each step, I feel my wolf settling deeper into my bones. Not hiding anymore. Not afraid. Behind us, Silverthorn territory fades into the distance. Ahead, the forest opens up into endless possibility. Where do we go? I ask as we walk deeper into neutral lands. Anywhere. Kieran pulls me close, and I feel his smile against my hair. Everywhere. Wherever we want. That's a lot of options, I say with a laugh. We have time to explore them all. His hand finds the small of my back, and through our bond, I feel his contentment. We walk until dawn breaks over the mountains, painting the sky in shades of gold and pink. And when we finally stop to rest, Kieran pulls me down beside him in a clearing filled with wildflowers. Tell me something, he says, his fingers tracing idle patterns on my arm. When you're not bandaging rogues or overthrowing corrupt alphas, what do you like to do? The question surprises me. I've spent so long just surviving that I've forgotten about living. I don't know, I admit. I used to like reading, and I had a garden once, before everything. I grew herbs, flowers, things that were beautiful and useful. Then we'll find you books and land for a garden. He presses a kiss to my temple. Whatever you want. What about you? What do you want? He's quiet for a moment, his hand stilling on my arm. Honestly, I just want you. Want to wake up every morning knowing you're safe. That you chose me. That we chose this. We lie there as the sun rises higher, warming our skin, burning away the last shadows of the night. Through our bond, I can feel Kieran's wolf contentedly curled up next to mine. Two souls who found each other in the darkness and refused to let go. My wolf stirs, her voice clear in my mind for the first time since she woke. We're free, she says. Finally, truly free. Now we run, and we keep running until we find home. I look at Kieran, at the way the morning light catches in his gray eyes, at the peace on his face that mirrors what I feel in my chest. I think we already have, I tell her. She hums in agreement and settles back down, content for the first time in 5 years.